Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Johnny TCG video. I'm Johnny TCG. I'm excited to see you here today. Today, my background is looking a little bit different. I'm in the great state of Vermont, away from my normal setup, but that's not going to stop me from getting you some good One Piece TCG content. If you like the content, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I do it for you. Now, today we are going to take a look at this OP11 Don Quixote Rosinante deck list. I just did a deep deck profile on him, so I'm not going to do another one right here. I'll throw up the thumbnail of the one I just did and put it on screen. I'll put it in the description and put it in the comments because I really think you'll enjoy that video if you haven't watched it already. Today, we are just going to be going over a game I had against a blue-purple Luffy. This game was one of the craziest games of One Piece I've ever played, folks. You're going to want to take a look at this game. They saw everything, I saw everything, and when both players see everything, it just gets weird sometimes, folks. Like almost every other video, we are going to do a giveaway today. Today, we're going to be giving away a custom blue-green Don Quixote Rosinante leader card. Editor, throw the preview on screen. This is the same card that we did last video, but I have 2 copies, so of course, we're going to give it away 2 times. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. It's as simple as that, folks. Then, if this video gets 20 likes in the first 24 hours, I'll choose a random US-based commenter, send it to you completely free. It's as easy as that. I am not the artist. I'm not selling this. This is art from the One Piece Treasure Cruise game. I'm not claiming to be the artist. This is just a fun personal fan project. If you like the content, consider hitting that subscribe button. You're tired of me yapping. You want to see this epic game. Editor, roll the gameplay. Our opponent's going to choose the turn order. I am interested to see what they choose. I think I'm fine either way. They're going to choose to go second. I like this opening hand. We don't see any of our big bodies, but we do have that Ivankov on curve, which is strong if we can keep it on the board, of course. Then we have a bunch of chump blockers, which will be really helpful in this matchup. Later on in the game, they're going to have a ton of big bodies swinging at us, and I think the best way to deal with that is just chump blockers. We top deck another Ivankov, which is cool, but nothing crazy. We're going to play out the Ivankov. We get the sugar off the Ivankov blind, and that is huge. That is going to be so important for us. That's going to be so annoying for our opponent to deal with. I can't believe that just happened, folks. I think we have a shot now. 4 Don for them to deal with. If they play out a Bon Clay, they will be able to ramp, but we're going to be able to rest the Bon Clay and definitely remove it next turn. If they play out the Zoro Jora, we'll be able to rest that and go after it next turn. Having this sugar on the board is absolutely huge. I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to get rid of it. 9,000 with their leader, leaving 1 Don up. 9,000. I think we just take this, folks. We take it. We get the Eustace Captain Kid. That's what I like to see. Now we just have to survive long enough to put that Eustace Captain Kid on the board safely. We are at 5 Don. We've got an interesting situation here. And another Ivankov could be crazy, but I think we're good with just 1. We play down that Cavendish 4 cost 6,000 power. That's going to be a great way to apply pressure to our opponent. Now we're going to swing 6,000 with our leader into them. I imagine they'll counter out of this. They've got a ton of cards in hand. They'll give us the 1K counter. Then I'll pass it to them, not swinging with our Ivankov. The reason I didn't was because if we drew a card with Ivankov, we wouldn't be able to restand our leader, and I wanted to restand our leader just so that they can't clear the sugar this turn. I mean, they could clear the sugar with an event like God Thread, but if they were to play a character down and my sugar would be rested, I want my leader to be active so I can block any attacks into her. They're going to play down the event that allows them to ramp a Don. They're going to be able to actually ramp 2 Dons because I do have a 6,000 power body on the board. Then they're going to hit us with the Charlotte Pudding. That catches me off guard because I feel like I didn't really have a ton of cards in hand. Maybe they don't really have any great plays right now. This new hand is definitely solid, though. We still have the Eustace Captain Kid. We've got a couple of blockers to play out with him, and then we have 2K counters, so I am thrilled with this hand. We're still going to be able to get card draw with Ivankov and Cavendish. We're in a good spot, folks. We have to rest our sugar and rest our pudding because of sugar's effect. Now they'll probably swing 7,000 or 6,000 into our sugar, which we will definitely block with our leader just because we want to keep that sugar on the board. When we use that sugar for some of their bigger bodies, it's going to go absolutely crazy later on in the game. We'll take that hit. We get the 5 cost Nami, which was good. Now we get another 5 cost Nami, which we didn't really need. We're going to play some cards out first before swinging with some of our characters to maximize the amount of cards we can draw. We're going to play down the 2 cost Rosinante blocker, draw with Ivankov. Now we're going to swing 6,000 with our Cavendish, draw 2, trash 1. We're going to trash a Eustace Captain Kid. but I don't think it would have been crazy for me to keep that in my hand to have 2. They'll counter out of my Cavendish swing. Now we'll play down the 5-cost Nami blocker, draw 3, then put 2 at the top or bottom of our deck. I really like this play right here. I'm thinking we put the pudding down at the bottom, and then maybe the 3-cost Doflamingo 2 or the 5-cost Nami, because the Doflamingo we can cheat out with Eustace Captain Kidd, which I think is relevant. We get that 9-cost Zoro, which I'm really happy about. I think that could add some crazy attack power and is the only way I'm really going to be able to deal with any of the characters on the board. They've got 8 Don to work with, so they can start using their leader ability. They draw the OPO6 Sanji, which is a 2k counter and a blocker. Not too crazy, but getting a 2k for free is absolutely absurd. 10 Don for them to work with. We are about to see some big bodies hitting the board. Luckily, they don't have the 9-cost Sanji combo. They only have the Charlotte Linlin by herself. They're able to heal a life. Then they're going to be able to put one of our cards at the bottom of our life, and they're going to put the sugar down. They do not want to have to deal with that sugar anymore, and I don't blame them. Now a 7,000 power swing with their leader into our Ivankov. I think we should block out of this and then also counter too. Countering is a little bit fierce, a little bit bold of us, but I think it's worth it to keep that Nami on the board. I might even swing with it this turn. We're going to do a card draw cycle with Cavendish. We trash another Cavendish. I don't think we need another one. 6,000 into their leader. They're going to 2k counter out of that. They are low in card size or card hand size, folks, and that's really good for us. Now maybe another 6,000 with our Nami, just forcing them to take their life or give us cards from hand. Then we're going to play down the 9-cost Zoro. I think it's safe to do that. If they have the Gum Gum Red Rock, so be it, but that means they're not playing out a big body, and that is huge for us. We couldn't swing with Ivankov or our leader, but that is perfectly fine. I'm happy to keep both of those standing. If they want to swing into our Nami, we will happily let them go. With their leader ability, they're going to find Gum Gum Giant. The shenanigans begin, folks. They will have the Gum Gum Giant or the Gum Gum Red Rock to bottom deck our Zoro. That is a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. Now 8,000 into our Cavendish probably, or no, just our life. They're going to be aggressive. We have a ton of counter in hand. Maybe it makes sense to use it, or maybe I should just block out of this with Rosinante. I want to maybe keep my Rosinante on the board to protect my Cavendish or my Eustace Captain Kidd next turn. I'm leaning towards taking this hit. That's a little bit bold of me, because I do have plenty of counter in hand, but I just need to survive so that I can play down this Eustace Captain Kidd, and with all the counter in my hand, with all the blockers, I think I'm going to be fine. They decide to swing 9,000 with Linlin, and I do block that with Rosinante. We'll do a 6,000 power swing first with our Cavendish. They'll use the event to get plus 3,000 power. Drawing 2, trashing 1, we do get another Zoro, which is really interesting. I'm thinking about playing down the Eustace Captain Kidd this turn, though. I think that makes the most sense, being able to sit behind that, just have a ton of 2Ks in hand. I really like that idea. Maybe next turn establishing the 9-cost Zoro, getting it out sooner rather than later would be fun, but I can't be greedy, folks. I need to play this smart. While playing out the Eustace Captain Kidd, I'm actually thinking about cheating out the TCG 3-cost. This is to avoid a Gum Gum Red Rock. It would be ideal to play out a blocker, but having that TCG out there prevents my Eustace Captain Kidd from getting hit with the Red Rock, and that is just probably their best option to get rid of it, so I am cool with having that Tashigi on the board instead of a blocker and getting rid of the 2k counter. We do have our Nami blocker if they want to swing big into Eustace Captain Kidd. We have our leader that can be a blocker if we really need to. We've got so many counter cards in our hand, but we'll see if it's enough to defeat one of the best leaders in the game right now. They are going to have the 9-cost Sanji combo with another 9-cost Linlin. They're going to be able to heal again, folks, and they're going to be able to put one of my bodies to my life. The question is, which body will they choose? I'm thinking Cavendish is probably their best bet. Because Tashigi I don't think can protect Cavendish, and yep, they'll go with the Cavendish. Cavendish was able to apply a lot of pressure and help us get a ton of cards in our hand, so yeah, makes total sense, folks. Now they're going to be able to swing big into our Eustace Captain Kidd. That is an easy 2k counter out of 9,000 and 8,000. Then they won't be able to swing with their leader. Now they've got a very menacing board. They've got 4 life cards. They are in a great spot too. We're both in a great spot. This is the best type of game, folks, when both players are going crazy with good cards. I'm going to be a little bit crazy this turn just because I recognize I have to apply a little bit of pressure at least on them. So I'm going to swing 6,000 with my Nami blocker, forcing them to give me an event card, hopefully from hand, or a 2k counter. We get that Usohachi from their hand. Then we're going to play down the 9-cost Zoro. We're going to have to give a Don to our Eustace Captain Kidd. The question is, do we want to swing with him or do we want to cheat out a blocker using his ability? Do I still need Ivankov on the board? That is the question. I am going to instead, I think, play down down the 3-cost Doflamingo over the Ivankov, I guess, so I can see what is coming up next in my hand. I can set the top or bottom of my deck. I'm leaning towards setting this to the bottom. I mean, there are a lot of counter cards, multiple 2Ks, a couple blockers, and that sugar. Those are solid choices, but I also wouldn't mind finding a red rock either. I only run one of those in my deck. I'm going to put those at the bottom. Not really too concerned with what I find, but yeah, maybe I should have kept it, maybe not, I don't know. But we have a ton of counter in hand, and yeah, I think we're in a decent spot. With their leader ability, they're able to draw the OP11 Nami blocker. That leader ability is so strong, folks. Just an extra card draw every single turn once they hit 8 Dawn. That is insane. Like, just being able to find another strong card like Nami in this situation. This situation is perfect for a Nami. They're going to have another 9-cost Sanji and a 9-cost Linlin, folks. This is ridiculous. This is their third one so far. This is absolutely bonkers. They're going to be able to heal another life. The good news about this, at least, is that they are forced to trash cards from their life in order to do this. Then they're going to be able to put one of our characters into our life. They're going to get rid of the TCG. So now if they find another red rock, they will be able to get rid of our Cavendish, or not Cavendish. Oh my god, I'm losing it, folks. Eustace, Captain Kidd, or Zoro's. Now they're going to swing 9,000 with Linlin into our Eustace, Captain Kidd. We've got a 2K for that. This 9,000 power swing with Sanji, we will just take that with our leader, and then 9,000 with their other Linlin into our Eustace, Captain Kidd. We'll 2K out of that as well. We are okay to take leader hits because we keep getting healed by them. That's absolutely crazy. Look at our life, folks. It's all cards that they put in there now. We're going to start off by giving a Dawn to our Eustace, Captain Kidd. I think this turn I'll just go crazy with our 9-cost Zoro and then maybe play out another blocker. We're going to do a big swing with our Zoro into one of their Linlins, 13,000 with Zoro. Then we're going to restand him using his ability. I'm just going for board here, folks, trying to clear their board as much as possible. I think if I go for life, that's not going to end well for us just because they're going to be able to just continue getting more cards. Here, we're starving them out a little bit. We can't really starve them out because of their leader ability. They're going to use their Gum Gum Giant, though, which is absolutely awesome for us. We are happy for them to get rid of that. They're going to trash a 9-cost Luffy. That's a great card for them, so we're happy to see it go. Then they'll use a 2K to keep the Linlin alive. That is not that big of a deal, folks. 13,000 now again with our Zoro. They're going to have to let it go now again. We'll be able to set Zoro active again, swinging 13,000 into a 9-cost Sanji. No way they got anything to stop that, folks. They're going to have to let it go. Unfortunately, they do have one Linlin that I was not able to kill this turn because they countered out of that first one. Now I'm debating what to do with the rest. Should I swing 6,000 with our Nami into their life? I don't think that's crazy at all. Should I use Eustace, Captain Kidd's ability to cheat out a body? Should I swing 9,000 into the Linlin? That's also another idea I could possibly do. Or does it make sense to swing into life? I'm going to swing 9,000 into Linlin. While it is an easy 1K counter, they don't have a lot of cards in their hand, so I think it makes sense to force them to give me the 1K, which they don't. That is huge for us. Absolutely huge. Now, I'm thinking we pass it back to them, or should I swing 6,000 with Nami first, folks? Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to leave 3 blockers up, and then also my leader, who's a blocker. They are not going to be able to deal with this 8-cost Eustace, Captain Kidd, folks, unless they have a red rock. If they have a red rock, that Eustace, Captain Kidd will then be dealt with. But if they have the red rock, they might want to get rid of that Zoro too. Nope, they decide to go with the red rock on the Eustace, Captain Kidd. They'll probably try to clear the Zoro here by swinging into it. 9,000 into 9,000 with their Linlin. I'm thinking maybe we just 1K counter out of this with Pudding. With only 2 cards in their hand, I don't think I'll be playing Pudding anytime soon in this game. 3 down left for them to work with. They might be swinging big with their Sanji into Zoro. That would make sense. No, they might just go for my life perhaps. Yep, 8,000 into 5,000. I don't think it would be crazy to block this. I also don't think it would be crazy to take this. I think probably it makes more sense to take this and then block the next one, or I'll just block with the 4-cost Doflamingo, let the Dofi go, and then we still have our Rosinante up. We have 2 more Doflamingos in our hand. They decide not to swing with their Sanji, which I definitely thought was a misplay at first, but then I realized that is so I can't clear it with any of my characters with my Zoro swing. That makes perfect sense actually, so I don't think they're crazy there. They want to keep that 9-cost Sanji on the board, and to do that, they can't swing with it, because if they swing with it, we are definitely going to clear that, folks. They leave 1 Dawn up, probably for a Gum Gum Giant or that new OP11 3,000 power counter event. Now I'm divvying up the Dawn. We are going to clear this Linlin one way or another. We'll start with the 13,000 power swing with Zoro, restanding him if they want to counter out of this. so be it. That's just more cards out of their hand. They are at 5 life right now, which is absolutely absurd, folks. A 3 life leader starting the game. Now they're at 5 life. It's turn number 9. This game has gone on pretty long already as it is, and we are still a long ways to go till the end, folks. They are going to use Gum Gum Giant here, which I think is a little bit of overkill. They're going to trash the Zoro, which at this point in the game, Zoro is not that good, but still having to go back and Don, using a Gum Gum Giant, not for your life, just trying to save a character that you're not going to be able to keep on the board anyway, because I'll be able to restand the Zoro. I don't love that play, folks, but it is what it is. They made the choice. Now I'm debating on whether or not I should set the Zoro active. I'll swing first with Nami 6,000. I'll probably play out one other blocker this turn. They take the 6,000 power Nami swing, which is good news for us. Now I'm going to set the Zoro active, and then I'll be able to swing big with him. They'll definitely have to take this too. We'll get them down to 3 life, and yeah, hopefully be able to put more pressure on them. This game has gone on pretty long, folks. Then for 3 down, we'll play out the Doflamingo, setting the top or bottom of our deck. We've got the 2-cost Rosinante blocker, the 6-cost Gum Gum Red Rock. These are both great cards for us to find in this current moment. I'm originally planning on putting Gum Gum Red Rock at the top, which I don't think would have been a bad idea, but I'm actually going to put the Ivankov at the top, which would allow me to cheat out the Rosinante for free. I'm thinking here I use both of my standing blockers, the Rosinante and the Doflamingo, to make room on my board for that play. I think it's a solid play. It may not be the best play. Maybe I should have left that Red Rock at the top, but we'll see what they do here. They're going to be able to use their leader ability to start their turn. We'll see what they find. It's crazy how far into their deck they are able to look and just find the cards they need, stack their deck. They are going to find the Charlotte Linlin from OP08. I'm double checking right now, folks. Did they really see all 4? And they did. They've got another 9-cost Sanji into 9-cost Linlin play. That is absurd. They literally have healed 4 times. Ladies and gentlemen, how often do you see this? Is this going to be the new norm with the new blue-purple Luffy leader? Because that is pretty ridiculous. They're going to put our 6-cost Nami or 5-cost Nami at the top of our life. Not that big of a deal. Now 9,000 into 9,000 with our Zoro. Honestly, there's an argument for them to not even having used 9-cost Linlin's ability to put one of our characters at our life. Of course, they should heal one, but giving us another life card will make me more comfortable using my leader ability to absorb an attack that could have gone into my 9-cost Zoro, for example. For 2 Don, or for 3 Don, we'll play down the Ivankov, cheat out the Rosinante. Man, that play felt really good. Now, 7 Don still left up. Should I maybe play out the Cavendish just to set us up for success next turn? I decide that might be unnecessary. I'm going to start with a swing into their rested 9-cost Sanji, 10,000. We'll see if they have a 2K or 2 1Ks. If they let this go, that is absolutely huge for us. We did use Zoro's ability, so we restood him. Now 10,000 into 6,000. No Don up. They won't be able to get out of this. They'll have to take this. Is there a trigger, folks? No trigger. I decide I'm actually going to restand the Zoro again. Let's just really put them down. This only leaves us with 3 Don left up, and we'll just be able to play down the 3-cost Dofi blocker. With the Dofi blocker, we're going to leave the Red Rock at the top of our deck. We're going to want that next turn, and then we also have a 2-cost Rosinante blocker coming up the following turn. Right now we have 2 2Ks in our hand, 1 1K. That's not too bad. We've got 4 life, which is pretty crazy. They're at 2 life. They're definitely going to want to remove this Zoro. If they have a Gum Gum Red Rock, that would be the best way to do it. Using leader ability, they will find Usohachi 2K. That makes perfect sense, folks. Now they've got a decent amount of cards in hand. Maybe I should have kept that Charlotte Pudding. Not really, though. I think that was a fine play we did. They are going to have 10 down to work with. Will they have another big body? They got to with all those cards in hand. The question is, what type of body will it be? Will it be the 9-cost Rush Luffy? Would it be the 8-cost Katakuri? They're actually going to play the 5-cost Luffy from OP11. This is a new one. It's a blocker with a weird effect. And then they also have that 5-cost Nami blocker from OP11 as well. They are going to try to sit behind these blockers a little bit. Probably swing into our Zoro here, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. 6,000, they'll start out with a leader swing, I guess. 6,000 into Zoro. I'm wondering if this is a misclick or they were intentionally not swinging into my life because they don't want me to get that Nami blocker out of my life. They're trying to starve me, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't make too much of a difference. They don't swing with their 9-cost Linlin or their 9-cost Sanji either, and I do think that is because they are potentially trying to starve me. I don't know. I mean, with all the cards I have in hand and the blockers I have on the field, that Zoro was not going anywhere unless they have a Red Rock. I'm going to use my own Red Rock here. I'm actually going to get rid of the blocker Luffy, even though I could have also gotten rid of a bigger body. The reason I'm doing that is just because I want to put a lot of pressure on them the rest of this game. I think it's time we go for game. We'll start out with an Ivankov 4000 power swing just to use the Ivankov ability of drawing a card. Now a 10,000 power swing with Zoro. Are they going to be able to get out of this? I think they will survive this turn. I don't think there's any way we get lethal here, but we are going to be in a great position for next turn. If they can't get rid of this Zoro, it's basically GG's. 10,000 and a 6,000. Are they going to be able to get out of it? They do have the 0 cost counter event, then the Usohachi 2K. Now we're going to swing again 10,000 with our Zoro. 2 down, left up, and then we'll probably just swing again with our Zoro, which is pretty absurd. They'll block out of this with their Nami. We'll set the Zoro as active. Another 10,000, folks. We are trying to end this game ASAP. Well, not only are we running out of time, but the game has gone on pretty long. Believe it or not, I have sped up this gameplay footage. 10 down for them to work with. They'll be able to use their leader ability, probably find themselves a counter event or a 2K counter. And yes, they do find that Gum Gum Jet Gatling, the 0 cost 3,000 power counter event. 10 down for them to work with. Do they have any more big bodies? I wonder if they run the 8 cost category because we have not seen one yet. I think the 9 cost Luffy would be amazing here too. I really think one of their mistakes, or maybe not a mistake, but they could have pressured my life earlier. Maybe. I don't know, folks. Once you start out with the 2 cost sugar, cheating that out with Ivankov, it was maybe over from there just because that sugar really got rid of any possibility for a Zoro Joro or a Bon Clay. They're going to have the 8 cost category, then swing 8,000 into our Ivankov. I think we're fine to let this Ivankov go. We could also block, but at this point, I think we're kind of in control of the game. 8,000 into 4,000, maybe I just let it go. Yeah, I'll just let it go. I'm not going to use my Rosinante's abilities. I'll let the Ivankov go. Now the question is, will they swing into this Zoro or will they swing into my life? At this point, folks, I am so happy with how this game turned out. It was absolutely absurd. The fact that they had 4 9-cost Charlotte Linlins, how do you compete with that? We are going to use our Rosinante blockers here. We've got more blockers in our hand, and yeah, I don't see any point in using leader ability, and of course there's no way I'm going to let that Zoro go. We are going to be in a really good position this turn. I think we just win if we just swing 3 big times with Zoro. If not, though, we'll probably win the next turn. How crazy would it be if we ended up top decking like an 8 cost kid? Of course, though, we did set our top of our deck with that Doflamingo, so I'm just being silly here, folks. We're going to start out with a 10,000 power swing from Zoro. I want to see kind of how the rest of this turn goes before I necessarily commit to 3 giant swings with Zoro. Maybe that was me being a little bit overly conservative. Like, I probably would have been fine in this game if I just swung 3 giant times with Zoro, leaving the 3 cost Dofi blocker up, or maybe just putting down the Rosinante blocker. They will counter out of that first swing. Now this next swing, 10,000, they'll either have to block or take this. They can't counter out of this. I think we're going to get the job done here, folks. They'll take that hit. Now we're going to set our Zoro active again. We'll be able to swing big with him, and then we'll probably just play out blockers and make this game go one more turn, even though it didn't really need to be like this. At this point, we're ignoring their board. We're just trying to end the game and get the W. They'll block that with Charlotte Katakuri. Instead of playing a blocker, I'm just like, I can just swing with my leader and win right here, folks. 11,000 now, 11,000 and a 6,000. What a crazy game. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments down below. I really want to hear from you. Did you find this game crazy like I did, or did I overhype it? Let me know in the comments down below, folks. That was absolutely absurd in my opinion. And that's the game I got for you, folks. What did you think about it? Did it live up to the hype when I hyped it up and said it was one of the craziest games I've ever played? Did it not live up to the hype? Was it not that crazy? You can let me know that too in the comments down below. If you've made it this far in the video, you are an absolute real one. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. What the heck are you waiting for? It's absolutely free. Consider hitting a like and comment if you want to enter to win the custom leader card. And with that being said, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.